There's one other recognition that's not on your program tonight, and it's a difficult one for me to talk about, but indeed it's one that I want to as well because it's important. Not very long ago, I got a letter from a colleague on the steering committee for Voices for National Service, that colleague being Michael Brown, letting us know in his gracious way that he was planning to graduate late this June with the 30th year of City Year AmeriCorps members, but that he would be staying on as a senior advisor, and that wouldn't be the end of his tenure there. I think it is critically important that we all spend all of the next year thanking Michael. When I got that letter, I have to tell you that my heart dropped from here to the floor. And it dropped for two reasons. One of those reasons is that I was so filled with gratitude. My heart was so full of thankfulness that all of the things that Michael had done, that it was simply too heavy to stay in my chest. Likewise, my heart was filled with panic. Michael has done so much. He has been an inspiration. He has been a mentor to many people here. He has been certainly an important leader, both in co-founding City Year 30 years ago, as well as his incredible role in funding, founding, and maintaining Voices for National Service. There is no replacement for Michael Brown, but there is a way that we can all carry on and honor all the work that he has done thus far, and that I truly believe that he will continue to do in his other capacities from this point forward. And that is that I think as we go forward with our advocacy and with our commitments, we have to dig down deeper. And every time there's a challenge, we need to think, wait a minute. What would Michael be doing? He'd be working tirelessly. He'd be rolling up his sleeves. He'd be raising money. He would be beating down doors. He would be harassing his board to go and do yet another thing. He would be tireless and he would be successful. And so I think the legacy of these last 30 years with Michael is actually a roadmap for all of us and for Voices for National Service. I'm only beginning to thank you, Michael, and I'm going to ask everyone here to stand up and join me in thanking Michael. And now if you really want to feel like you have more to do, I do just want to add that in 30 years at City Year, Michael is responsible for over 52 million hours of service. Okay. Woo! Okay. And now I want to also do a really big shout out to lots of the people who make Voices for National Service possible. There's been some acknowledgement of Ann Morrow and Jen and Nate and all the rest of the staff, but I think they deserve another big round of applause. Several people have said, oh, it must be a big deal to be chair of Voices for National Service. And I have to honestly say, easiest job I've ever had. These folks are great. I'd also like all of the other members of the steering committee to stand up so you can be acknowledged. I do want to commend all of you because, in fact, from the very beginning of Voices, where there were challenges and threats to national service, you have been tireless advocates as well. We've never been able to rest on our laurels or presume that things are going to be okay. We've always had to take action, and this field has truly done that. It's been mentioned before, but I think the accomplishments in the last couple of years are really noteworthy. When you consider that we started this last cycle with a 0 in front of us and then came out and on the other end with a plus 19 million. That is a serious, serious accomplishment. But that accomplishment doesn't come without a price. It doesn't come without a lot of continuing responsibility and diligence on our part. So I'm going to ask you, if your organization is not now a member of Voices for National Service, try to think about why it is that you can explain you are not. Because given the accomplishments and given that work, we all have an obligation to be a part of the process in every way that we can. And by the way, there are many levels of membership in Voices. I am sure there's one that will fit your organization. And for those of you who are so inspired tonight, and you must be because I've gone to a lot of events, and rarely is the room still this full by this point in time. So I know you're inspired. I want you to look on your table. You may not have noticed it, but there is a card there that gives you an opportunity to make a donation to Voices for National Service. We still need to raise some additional resources, and this is your opportunity to use the information on that card to make an online donation. Any donation, any amount, is certainly appreciated and a part of the solution. You don't raise an extra $19 million in 1 year without having a few donations, and there are still more to come, because I think we all want to see national service grow more and more, and for the Corporation for National and Community Service to have all the resources that it needs. So I'm going to count on you to do that. Okay. You can feel free to make a pledge now and stand up. We'll be taking pictures. Or you can go online and make that donation. Thank you all for your service and for your participation here and throughout the year. I'll see you in September.